So now when we are talking about diseases, we should be aware of two terms. They are very important. One is epidemic and second is pandemic. So what is the meaning of epidemic and what is the meaning of pandemic? So if you can see here, epidemic. So when a large number of people living in an area become ill with the same disease. Please remember the terms. When a large number of people who are living in an area become ill with the same disease at the same time, okay, it happens at the same time, it is called an epidemic. So the different examples of epidemic are outbreak of cholera, outbreak of dengue and malaria, outbreak of plague. Now it is not there basically, but these are different examples of epidemics. Even Ebola virus, you must have heard few years back, it was Ebola virus, so it was an epidemic. So epidemic means when large number of people living in an area get affected with the same disease within a period of time. Now let's talk about pandemic, and this is the most important terminology because presently we are facing a pandemic. So it is defined as an epidemic occurring worldwide. Remember, this is going to occur worldwide, crossing international boundaries and usually affecting a large number of people. So presently we are suffering from corona. So corona is declared as pandemic, isn't it? It originated in Wuhan in China and it has crossed most of the boundaries and it has reached most of the countries and many people are getting affected with it. So these are the two important terms when we are learning about diseases, that is epidemic and pandemic. So up till now we have seen that there are two types of diseases, communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. Now we have to study how do communicable diseases spread. It means through what means or medium does it spread. So the different means through which it spreads is, first is direct contact and through air. Second is it can spread through food and water. It can spread through animals as well as it can spread through infected equipments. So now we are going to study each one of them in detail, that how does it spread through direct contact and air and how other person gets infected and which are the different examples of these diseases which spread through these means. So now let's study that how the communicable disease can spread through air or direct contact. Now please remember that communicable diseases will spread through a germ or a microorganism, isn't it? We have already seen that though we cannot see microorganisms, they are present everywhere. So they are actually responsible to spread the diseases from one person to another. So now in this case, how do they spread by direct contact or through air? So you can see here that when an infected person, right, so a person is already suffering from that disease, so when that person sneezes or coughs, the germs spread in the air or they settle on clothes. Okay, so presently we are facing corona, right, and you must have heard a lot about corona, that a person who gets infected with, it's not only about corona, if you speak about even common cold. So when a person gets infected with common cold and when that person sneezes or coughs, those droplets, okay, they spread through air, and now the person who's in vicinity, who is close by, he inhales that infected air which is full of germs. The moment he inhales those germs, that is the infected air, please remember, so those germs through that infected air enters into his respiratory system, and after few days even that person is going to show the symptoms, right? So this is how when an infected person sneezes or coughs, germs spread in the air or they settle on clothes. And when a healthy person inhales that infected air or touches infected clothes, he or she catches those germs. It means that healthy person also gets infected. Now example here is common cold, flu, tuberculosis and even corona, because presently we are facing that situation. Okay, now the next factor through which the communicable diseases can spread is food and water. So how does it spread through food and water? So the first which we have to say is through insects. Now we know, we have seen house flies, right? So these house flies, they roam around everywhere. They come and sit on, like they sit on dirt or they are sitting on many things, right? And they carry so many germs, right? When they're sitting on that dirt, that germs get stuck to its feet. Now, when these flies sit on uncovered food, they infect that food too. So this uncovered food gets infected with those germs. And then yes, when we consume this contaminated food, a healthy person can get infected. So this is how communicable diseases can spread through insects which are sitting on different food. That's why we always suggest that the food should be always covered. Now the next is through water. Now what happens? We get water supply from the corporation to our houses. So there are big pipes which are providing this water to us. Now sometimes they have leaks. Okay, so when they have leaks, through those leaks, through which the germs can easily enter into it, and the moment the water gets contaminated with these germs, if we drink this contaminated water, a healthy person can get sick. So the different communicable diseases which spread through insects or water are cholera, jaundice, actually it is cholera, jaundice, polio, diarrhea and typhoid. So in this case, our digestive system gets infected or it gets affected with these germs. Up till now, we have seen that communicable diseases spread through direct contact and air, and the second mean was through infected food and water. Now we have to see the third mean. So if you see here, so the medium through which communicable diseases spread, it can be through animals. Basically, when we are talking about animals, those are the insects which we are talking about. So they are mosquitoes or flies or fleas. Now these insects, they are termed as vectors. So what is the meaning of vector? It is an organism that usually transmits a disease, right? Means they are not the ones who cause the disease, but they have those microorganisms which we have studied already, like bacteria, fungi, virus or the protozoa. They are present in these insects, and these insects, they act as vectors. So they are the ones who will transmit the disease. So we'll take an example for mosquito, because we are very well aware of diseases caused by mosquito like malaria, dengue, etc. So when a mosquito bites an infected person, so a person who is suffering from malaria is bit by this mosquito, that protozoa or that microorganisms, they will reside in the guts of the mosquito, and the moment this mosquito will bite a healthy person, okay, when they bite a healthy person, these germs will be transferred to that person, making him sick. So these insects, they act as vectors, okay, they are the ones who will transmit a disease, but the main causative organisms which will cause these diseases are the ones which we have studied already. So the example of the diseases which will spread through these insects are malaria, dengue, plague. So basically plague, it spreads through infected fleas which are on that rats. So basically now we don't see plague anymore, but these are the different kinds of diseases or types of diseases that will spread through the animals or insects. Now the last factor, that is through infected equipments. So how does communicable disease spread through infected equipments? So you can see here the examples are needles and scissors. So it means if these needle and scissors are used by an infected person, and if a healthy person uses them, so he might get infected with that disease. So the different examples of diseases which might spread through infected equipments are AIDS and jaundice. So if a person having AIDS, okay, is injected with a syringe, and the same syringe is used for another person, a healthy person, the healthy person might get AIDS. Or if a person suffering from AIDS, okay, his blood is transfused into into a healthy person, the healthy person will get AIDS. So blood or other liquid from infected person enters into a healthy person, it will make that healthy person sick. So in this case, basically, like if the syringe which is being used is again used for a healthy person, means if it was used for an infected person and then it is used for a healthy person, the person might get sick. Or if there is like blood transfusion. Okay, so it is like you must have seen that there are blood donation camps. So if in that case a person suffering from AIDS or jaundice, his blood is taken and it is given to a healthy person, the healthy person might suffer from this kind of disease.